Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we just finished up those independence wars, and that is absolutely fantastic. Now, Bolivia is a thing that exists. We probably shouldn't try to go after them immediately. I think we will be stronger than them, but we should almost certainly let our armies reinforce their manpower. The manpower is not in a great position right now, so that means we should probably build up a little bit economically. So let's take a look through these agriculture setups here. So the best earning for livestock is 0.42. For maize, it's 0.55. For rice, it is 0.83. For vineyards, it's 0.45. For banana plantations, it's 0.76. Coffee, I'm guessing this is going to end up being cotton or tobacco. 1K, that's not bad. It's tobacco. Okay, that's not surprising. So we could definitely do some cash crop plantations here. That is a thing that we could do. Now, we have a lot of radicalism, and we would definitely like to tackle that. So it mostly went up due to events and other reasons, and also decreases in standard of living. So addressing our standard of living is definitely something that we would like to do. Grain is a pretty large expense for the lower strata. Okay, it's also a pretty large expense for the middle strata. Of course, for the upper strata, they don't care about grain. That is understood. So getting some form of grain, like maize farms, is probably not a bad idea. That'll help build up our economy from the middle and bottom up. And that is probably a good thing in this scenario, I would guess. So let's sort by job seekers here. We've got a lot of job seekers in this location. It's negative infrastructure. That's understood. Gold mines, I see. Okay. So I'm going to build a single maize farm in Minas Gerais. The question is, how much are we going to be spending on construction? 4.34K right now. Okay, that is noted. So that is reasonably okay. Now, under resources, we already looked through these, and the best resource to construct here is logging camps. And that would be in Rio de Janeiro, but there are no job seekers in Rio de Janeiro. So I'm going to build it in Bahia as for now, because there are job seekers there. We'll be interested in getting that changed. The 4th Brazilian Army has low organization right now. Paper is currently expensive, so that is definitely something that we could work on. We could build a paper mill, and where would that be most efficient? Well, also Rio de Janeiro, but again, no job seekers there. So we're going to build it in Bahia instead. Infrastructure is going to be a bit painful here. Okay. Market access is low, and we don't really have a good way to increase infrastructure in a lot of locations, other than building, like, ports. Which we could do in Bahia. We could also do in a couple of other locations. So we can build some ports to help offset that infrastructure issue, but it's going to be a bit problematic. So that gets us a fair amount of constructions queued up here. That's going to take 3 years to get all of this finished, unless we were to expand our construction sector, which we probably could do. So this is pausing all government construction, noted. We're on wooden buildings right now. We could go to iron frame buildings, but we don't have actual iron. We would need to get some iron. I'm sure that we have access to it. Yes, we do. Okay. So that seems fine. We could also expand our construction sectors somewhat. Sorting by job seekers here, it would be Minas Gerais that we would need to do this in. We could do this by, in theory, 2. And I'm putting those at the top of the list. 15 weeks to construct. Okay, that's noted. So that's going to eat up a lot of our economy. We're going to be investing heavily in that. So let's head on forward for now. I'm going up to speed 4. That'll be fine. I do see a private construction of a shipyard in Bahia. So that means that we should actually be able to cancel this one, I think. A private construction will apply to our infrastructure, right? I'm pretty sure it will. It's a slave state. We're going to want to deal with that situation. That's definitely a thing that we want to do. So the matter of slavery is going down right now. And we'd want to enact slavery ban. So that's definitely something we want to do. For the time being, we're working on a school law. And where is our slavery law at? I've forgotten where this is. Perfect. It's in here somewhere. So this is racial segregation here, no workers' rights, censorship. Yeah, here it is. We're on slave trade right now. So we're going to want to go to slavery banned eventually. The landowners will get radicalized by that, and that is understood. We cannot suppress the landowners because they're currently in government. Okay. So we've got magnanimous monarch here, and we're going to want to do something about that Peru-Bolivian confederation, but for now, we're not too concerned about it. So if we were hypothetically, we're not going to do this at this moment, if we were hypothetically to attack Bolivia here. Where is this these days? I guess it's under interactions. We would look to liberate country is probably not what we would look to do. Return state. Interesting. Very interesting. So in order to stop this confederation, Bolivia needs to not exist or have lost all of its subjects. So its subjects are up over here. And it needs to be allied with us. Interesting. Will fail if the progress bar reaches 120, marking the consolidation of the Peru-Bolivian Confederation's rule. If completed, completion effects will depend on whether we have chosen to dismantle or befriend the Peru-Bolivian Confederation. Okay. So I'm guessing that this up here is dismantle, and this is befriend. Okay. We're angling for dismantlement, to be clear. So that'll be fine. Excellent. We've got about 10 weeks left here on this construction sector. That's okay. We're probably going to be dipping negative financially for a little bit once we finish up these construction sectors. That's absolutely okay. I completely get that. That makes a lot of sense. So this is our foreign queues here. We can do foreign investments. We're not in a position to do that right now. And our investment pool is growing at a pretty decent rate, actually. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But this is certainly going to be taking us a little bit negative, but once we get these completed, I expect us to start coming back positive. That'll be okay for the time being. So, how are we doing on public schools? Well, we have a 3% chance to progress. It's probably not going to happen. 86% chance of debate. Yeah, so this looks okay. So landowners are going to be sad, but we would get a 10% enactment success chance. Alternatively, a 25% chance of a 20% enactment success chance. So this is like risk-reward, right? I'm going to make the landowners very slightly sad for a massive increase, a massive guaranteed increase in our success chance. So that sounds good for now. Checking in on our army, yeah. These guys still need to replenish a fair amount. So we'll let that continue to be worked on. We're about to finish up this construction sector. There we go. That is now done. And as that gets populated up, we are expecting to possibly go negative. Possibly. In our finances. Almost certainly once this one gets finished up. So what is our current... Yeah, we definitely need some more workers here. That's going to take a little bit. Certainly. How much construction is this going to be in the end? It costs 100 construction to build, and it's currently +2 construction. Okay. And then there's also the state construction efficiency. So that's fine. We've got this event down here. Apparently somebody is attempting... the landowners want to launch a coup. The landowners are dumb, though, and we are not going to have that be a thing. The landowners get coup attempt resisted for 9 years. The coup's progress will advance by 10%. Where do we see that? Okay, that's here. It's currently expected to gain progress, and this is because the landowners are upset. Okay. Will fail if... Okay, so the landowners want autocracy. That is not what our leader wants. If we look in here, we can see that he wants to... He aspires to maintaining democratic rule and protecting the civil liberties afforded by the Constitution, as well as finally ending the institution of slavery. So that's what he's working towards. And that means that we're going to have problems with the landowners. That's very normal in Victoria. No doubt about that. But let's hop into our government here. And let's see what the landowners are upset about. They're -1 because of that event, right? So we have -4 from suppressing the slave trade and -1 from compulsory education. Okay. 7% of political strength in the interest group is also radical. So that's noted. This is going to go down over time. Actually, is this decaying or not? I do not know if it's decaying or not. We should probably check. So let's see here. Landowners' political strength, yeah. What I'm interested in finding here is whether that's decaying or not. If it's decaying, that's going to be a big deal. So it's currently -4, right? Presumably it's in these modifiers somewhere. Presumably. So -15 legitimacy in the Regency period is going to be a bit rough. No doubt about that. But this is okay for the time being. I don't think that this is going to be a thing long term. The landowners are... They're going to be a problem long term. But I don't think that this approval is going to remain low for too much longer. I think they're going to go back to neutral, and once suppressing the slave trade goes away, they should be positive, in fact, at this point. However, 8% of the political strength in the interest group is currently radical. So radicalism is going up due to decreases in standard of living. Okay, standard of living is barely moving, but dropping the price of grain is going to be very useful for us. No doubt about that. Peasants in subsistence building. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem there, but we're working on it. So once this construction sector finishes, we'll start working on this maize farm. And yeah, that is underway now. Excellent. What is this? Trade route importing liquor from the Belgian market is currently inactive. Okay, we have some negative trades here. Let's get rid of some of these. Okay, that'll do. Now we have a tools shortage in the Brazilian market. So, that's not necessarily shocking. Let's build ourselves a tooling workshop. Where do we already have some? Minas Gerais? Okay, I'm going to build one there. And we're going to have this shipyard in Bahia. This does, of course, mean that we are going to need a port in Minas Gerais. So that is... Sort by infrastructure here. It's not showing up here in quite the same way. Right, because it's not a port. It is not a coastal location. Okay. So a prominent functionary has been shot in broad daylight, a supporter of the Catholic Church. Let's retreat the coup's progress, and the Catholic Church will be happy about this. This maze of intrigue will be fine. I mean, -5 legitimacy is not great by any means, but it'll be okay. So we're going to get this tooling workshop done. That is 70 weeks out. It's going to take a while. That's understood. And yes, paper is currently expensive. We'll deal with that. So this coup is, of course, a bit of a problem. Our law debate failed, dropping the enactment success by 10%. So much for that. Do we want to appease the industrialists? I don't actually care about loan interest rate right now. We're very unlikely to go into debt anytime soon. The coup has fizzled. Beautiful. So reaching 0 causes the coup to end. That's very good to know. Now, I want to check on our military strength compared to Bolivia. So 355 with Bolivia at 270. We're not quite capped out yet. We've still got a fair amount of units here, although we're lacking a commander here. Understood. We'll put this guy in so that we can start regenerating that organization. That will be a useful thing. Okay, so this tools shortage is going to be worked on, at any rate, in 56 weeks. That is a long time out, to be clear. How much iron are we going to need to shift over to iron frame buildings? 196 is the answer. Okay, that's also going to cap the price of tools, which is similarly understood. So iron mines are going to produce 20 per level. That pretty much means we need 10. Okay. I feel like Minas Gerais is not the place to build it because we don't really have a good way to deal with infrastructure there. We have a lot of job seekers there, but we also have a lot in Bahia. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that is going to be 400 construction. So those are going to be pretty lengthy to build. The question is, when do we want to build them, right? I want the tooling workshop first. I think the maize farm makes sense. And then the iron mines. And then we build everything else for now. Something along the lines of that. So that's okay for now. We're at minus income at this moment, so we definitely need to be working on that. France started a conquer state diplomatic play. Okay, that's not surprising at all. Okay, so the Brazilian-British Society has offered an opportunity to sign a trade agreement with Britain. What's our opinion of Britain right now? They're protective, plus 100. We'll be happy to pursue that. So we have a lobby opportunity here. So now we can try to sign a trade agreement with Britain. That sounds good. So we want to go to interactions here, presumably. And we don't want to do a demand, necessarily. Diplomacy. We want to go into diplomacy, presumably. Diplomatic actions. Ah, right. Not demands, actions. That's fine. So we can propose a trade agreement, and they would accept this. Do it. So that'll be fine. We got a trade agreement, and that's going to eliminate tariffs between us and Britain. So that, of course, is going to drop our finances a little bit, but that will cause prices to shift as well. So that is good. In theory, that will potentially cause prices to go down a fair amount across the board, and we'd be very happy about that. So, the Catholic Church could get sad, or the industrialists could get sad, or we could just lose some authority, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, what do we want to do with our authority? We could promote social mobility to get some education access. I feel like that's not a bad thing. Bringing up our literacy would be pretty decent. We have a lot of people in Minas Gerais, so that's okay. We can do like one here and one here for the moment. So we'll promote some social mobility. That seems okay. Our overall literacy rate right now is holding fairly steady. And we have unincorporated states. Hang on, I thought all of our states were incorporated. Cool, let's get that incorporated. There we go. For some reason, I thought they were all incorporated, but this is unincorporated up here. So that's cool. We'll get that going. That looks good. Our infamy is currently down to 8.6, and our radicalism is continuing to tick upwards. So that is, of course, not fantastic. Most of this is due to decreases in standard of living, although events were certainly a major one. Let's see what happens with public schools here. Opposition members have put forth demands. You know what? An opportunity to break the bill from deadlock, huh? No. We're going to take the enactment success chance. That'll be fine. Okay, so that looks good. This tooling workshop is going to take a very long time to construct. There's no doubt about that. So our standard of living has come up a little bit. That's good. We should be seeing some loyalists increasing from that, and we're very, very happy to see that. In theory, though, what this really means is that the growth of radicalism is going to iron out a little bit. So that's okay for now. We are finishing up this shipyard, this private construction shipyard up in Bahia. And I want to take a look up here first. So 34 of 33 infrastructure. And it should finish this next week, I believe. Maybe this week. Oh, 5 weeks remaining on it. Okay. Well, that's going to take a little bit. No doubt about that. Well, it'll get done very soon, and I believe this will contribute to our infrastructure, but I do want to know that for a fact. So 2 weeks. One week. We're almost done here. And done. Okay. So 35 of 33. That's interesting. It used an infrastructure, but I'm assuming that it needs to get populated to actually give the infrastructure bonus. Presumably. A port is considered a government building. Fascinating. Okay, so next they're building a maize farm, and that's a good thing for us. We're very happy about that. I love seeing a maize farm going in there. Lowering the price of grain would be great for our standard of living and help with this small radicalism issue that we've got. We definitely need to deal with this. A lot of these are laborers, peasants, and slaves. So this is all like very low strata, right? Freeing the slaves would be phenomenal. And we would definitely like to do something about this. This is ticking away. So that is certainly a thing, but if we were to ban slavery... If we were to ban slavery, this would radicalize the landowners significantly. And that could be a potential problem for us. No doubt about that. So this is integration here. We're working on integrating these cultures as well. Okay, so this is something we should probably work on. Dissenters have broken ranks. Okay, that's not ideal. We'll take a setback here. That's okay. Bringing this up to 27%. So, let's take a look at culture here. And we've got, like, this culture here, right? So we're working on assimilating these. Okay, there's not really a way to do it from here. It must automatically assimilate, is what I'm currently thinking. Although, this culture here, Afro-Brazilian, is currently suppressed. Whereas this trait is not, or rather, it's discriminated against. This trait is, or this is not discriminated against. So, what can we do about that? Where can we change where that discrimination happens? That's an interesting question, for sure. We're down into an unacceptable government at this point. That's understood. Radicalism is something that we're definitely going to need to deal with. No doubt about that. We could think about... I wouldn't mind bringing up these home affairs. That would be pretty decent. Law enforcement we could bring up as well, but that will increase landowner political strengths, which we really don't want to do right now. Okay. Well, we'll see what this matter of slavery has to do here. If it fails, what happens? We get renewed African cycle permanently. At least until we ban it. Okay, the great powers will get mad at us if we don't ban it. Gotcha. That's understood. It is time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to work towards getting that peculiar institution removed. Certainly. It's not a particularly good institution anyway. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.